Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Friday the 23rd of September 2022 and today's Mill News. We start off with this from southernnews.co.uk. Millwall manager discusses unpredictable championship season. Gary Rowett believes that the likes of Middlesbrough and West Brom will rise up the table in the coming weeks. Well, never mind about that. Let's hope Millwall, will they rise up the table in the coming weeks? The Championship table has thrown up some major surprises early on in the campaign. While the likes of Norwich City and Sheffield United were always tipped to challenge at the top end of the division, very few people would have expected Reading and Rotherham to occupy third and eighth place respectively after 10 games. Similarly, Middlesbrough and West Brom are both much lower down than many would have predicted, with both among the favourites for promotion before the start of the season. For Mill boss Gary Rowett, this isn't a huge surprise. It's an unpredictable league and it's a very even league, he told us. He does, however, expect the teams that are better equipped to challenge for promotion to rise up the ranks in the coming weeks, while one or two of the weaker sides near the top may end up going in the opposite direction. I think you'll see some teams have a good spell and then drop away, Rowett added. I think you see some teams like ourselves have done it consistently over the last few years where we don't quite get the start we want, but we slowly edge away at teams, and over the course of the season, we're in or pretty close to the right position. When you see some really good teams like Middlesbrough and West Brom that are below us, you expect those sort of teams to be pushing quite hard to climb the table. It's the same as always, it's competitive. You expect the teams with parachute payments to be up and around it. That's just the expectation because of the size of their squads and their quality. It's up to the rest of us to crack on. It's interesting, isn't it? I think it's perception. I read somewhere that people were gushing about Luton's start, and we're on about the same points as them. It's all about perceptions, and it's all about patience. It's about where you are at 30 games and where you are at the end of the season. I don't really pay too much attention to league positions. It's more about performances. We know we've got to improve aspects of our game, and that will be our focus. Indeed. So, talking about Middlesbrough and West Brom, not really talking about Millwall that much. Will Millwall rise up the table? That's what I'm interested in. So, there you have it. So, moving on to international news. International Lion, sort of. One of the on loan players, the other one. Charlie Cresswell played for England under 21s yesterday, played for 90 minutes. If you watched yesterday's video, you would know that. And today it was Callum Styles playing for Hungary. So, and they won. They won 1-0. They played Germany and came off the bench. Where are we? Here. So he came off the bench. He looks like he's the lowest rated player, but I don't think he had a lot to do, just closing down, stuff like that. Because they were 1-0 up. Which is, where are we here? So they scored the goal after 17 minutes, and then they just basically had to defend for the rest of it. And Callum Styles came on for Adam Nagy in the 78th minute. So in terms of ratings wise, if we go back down, you can see, so he was the lowest rated player. He was only on the pitch for about 20 minutes. He had 10 touches of the ball, and he had a passing accuracy of 71.4%. So if we scroll down and see what he did, he had 2 unscheduled touches. I don't think he did anything defensively. No, I just think just closing down and stuff like that. He had 7 passes, 71.4% accuracy, 1 long ball which was accurate. So there you go. Oh no, that was the wrong geezer. Oh, 1 long ball that was accurate. So there you go. Yeah. I think first Hungarian international whilst registered at Millwall. Is he a Millwall player? Is he not a Millwall player? Oh, it counts technically, doesn't he? He's registered as a Millwall player with the FA, even though it's temporary for supposedly the rest of the season. But we found out before that there might be a recall clause, or that was 2 Leeds players, wasn't it? I think Callum Styles is actually here till the end of the season. So first international Lion featuring for Hungary, the mighty Magyars. and we'll see how mighty they are. Because if we look at the table for this, they're in the same group as England. Tough group coming into it: Italy, Germany, and England. But I think a lot of these other teams who aren't Hungary see the Nations League. It's kind of lost its shine now because it was brought in to replace friendlies, and once the first time they did that, well, oh, this is novel, this is unique, this is certainly better than friendlies, and now I think they kind of realise, well, they're just glorified friendlies. It doesn't really matter. But well, it matters now because England are relegated. Here's the league table. Hungary have to play Italy. Is it in Italy? No, it's in Hungary. So hopefully they can get the point they need from that. They need a point out of that game. Because they can still get pipped to the top of the table. If they get to the top, they feature in a tournament which is held somewhere. I have no idea where. But England are relegated to League B, and Hungary need to get a draw against Italy, because if they lose to Italy, they can be overtaken by them. So good luck to them, and good luck to Callum Styles as they try to do that on, when is it? Monday. So yeah, so there you go. Now, moving on, we're going to finish with this. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Gary Lineker, Edwin van der Sar, and Nick Pope praise makes Millwall goalkeeper Ryan Sandford go viral after amazing quadruple save. Yeah, I showed this clip in one of my videos last week. So Ryan Sandford's quadruple save on his Weymouth debut went viral last week, drawing praise from Gary Lineker, Edwin van der Sar, and Nick Pope on Twitter. But the Millwall goalkeeper, Nick Pope is the England goalkeeper, didn't know that. And Edwin van der Sar is I think he's a former Netherlands keeper. But the Millwall goalkeeper has revealed why he's not on social media. The 23-year-old's first outing for the National League South side ended in a 2-1 defeat at Twerton Park, but the undeniable highlight was Sandford diving to his left to push away Cody Cook's late penalty, following up 2 saves from Alex Fletcher and Tom Smith with his right and left legs, respectively, before racing out to block another Fletcher attempt. That's bloody impressive, tweeted ex-England striker Lineker to his 8.6 million followers. So, yeah, he retweet. Is that what they call it? Quote tweet? Quote tweet. I'm not on Twitter like Ryan Sandford. That's bloody impressive. And what was that? 9,000 likes, whatever that means. Edwin van der Sar, a nice one. That got 1,000 likes. And then Top Class from Nick Pope. Top Class with a cat logo. 3.7 thousand likes they got. Former Manchester United, Fulham, and Netherlands international Van der Sar, now CEO at Ajax, reacted with a nice one. Well, yeah, we just read that. While ex-Charlton keeper Pope, first choice at Newcastle, and England goalkeeper, tweeted Top Class with an emoji of a cat. It's quieting down now, but for 48 hours after the game on Tuesday, it was unbelievable, really, Sandford told the South London Press. Most of the time, people were sending me texts saying, have you seen this? Have you seen that? I came off social media completely a long time ago. I just prefer being without it. You can't get too high when you do well, and you can't get too low when you haven't. Social media is positive when everything is going your way, but in football it doesn't go your way all the time. When it's going badly, then they can comment negative things. You know it yourself whether you have a good game or a bad game. You don't need other people to tell you. It depends on the individual if you can take criticism or you can't. Some people want the best of both worlds. They want people to say how well they've done, but they don't want to take negativity. I'm not saying I was like that. My profile is not massive anyway. I just didn't think there was a point in me being on there, so I sacked it off. Since I've done that, I feel my performances have been a lot better. Sandford reckons it will be tough to ever top his 4 save sequence for terrors, just purely based on the fact it was off a penalty save as well. It all happened so quickly, he said. I watched it back a few times just to amaze myself a bit, because you think, cool, did I really do that? When everything is going 100 miles an hour like that, my focus was straight on the corner. I didn't really think, wow, what have I just done? I was quite late on. We were chasing the game. The disappointing thing was the result because it amounted to nothing. The full save was probably the easiest of the lot because the angle was quite narrow. I knew if I charged out and spread myself, 9 times out of the 10, the ball is probably going to hit me because the angle was against him. In those sort of situations, you don't really think where it is close quarters and quick, it almost ends up being a little bit easier. When you've got time to think about it, that's when you might change your mind a couple of times before the ball has to get to you, like with a shot from distance. Sandford was raised in Kennington initially before he moved out to the Dartford area. Millwall signed him at under 13 level. I was going to a goalkeeper development school in Rotherhithe, and there was a goalie coach there called Lee Hayward, who knew the coaches at Millwall, explained Sandford. Capped at 3 different junior age groups by England. And we had a coach there at the time who was also one of the Millwall goalie coaches called Darren Hart. That's how I ended up going on trial. Sandford was in the same England age group as Mason Mount, Trevor Chabala, Reece Nelson and Andre Dazelle, with his first call-up coming with the 16s. One afternoon, one of the vice principals at school pulled me into the office, and I remember thinking, God, what have I done now? But she read an email to me saying I'd been selected for an England camp, recalled Sandford. I trained with them, and they must have liked what they saw. I made my debut in the Victory Shield against Wales live on Sky Sports. My mum was dead proud. Sandford's mother, Kim, is a single parent, and the Lions player is determined to achieve in his career to ensure her efforts were not in vain. The England games were almost giving me a little bit back to her and showing what a great job she's done bringing me up, said Sandford. I always say that she gave up her life for me a little bit, but she ended up working in my secondary school just so she had the time off to spend with me in the holidays. She ferried me around the country like if we played Southampton away or Tuesday and Thursday nights for training. Without her, I wouldn't have got to where I am now. Can't thank her enough for that. Millwall took up an option to extend Sandford's contract in May by a further 12 months. His only senior action has come at non-league level with Maidstone United and Dover Athletic before he headed to Dorset, a total of 9 matches in National League South. My goal is to go out on loan this season and play as much football as I can, said Sandford. If I play well, then the other stuff sort of takes care of itself a little bit. I'm not really too sure why my moves have all been short 1-month loans. The last 2 have been due to injury to other goalkeepers. I need to cement my place in the team and hopefully earn a longer loan. It's the best way for me to learn. It's an important time for me now, and I'm fully aware of that. You'd like a longer loan to get settled, but the flip of the coin is that if you can go somewhere else and fit in straight away, it's all a good experience. It's a challenge in itself to go to a team where you don't know anyone, and 2 days later you could be playing. I've been very, very lucky for the last 4 or 5 years since I've been at Calmont Road. I've had such a good crop of goalkeepers to train with, or if I've ever needed advice. Bart is a fantastic goalkeeper. Some of the stuff you see in training, you think, how the hell has he saved that? I try to watch little bits of his game and then implement them in my own. The same with Longy, he's very good with his feet. Even with Connell Truman coming in now, he's another fantastic goalkeeper. It's very good for me, Righty, and Jordan to see what they can do. So there you go. That's an interesting interview there with Ryan Sandford. Hopefully he does well at Weymouth, even though they're not in the best position themselves. They've got a very young team now. They have the biggest budget in the league that they're in, and it's going to be a problem for them. But hopefully he shines there. He can help them out, and he can help himself out as well at the same time. So there you go. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.